out.
How are you doing?
Tickety-boo. What about you? What you got on today?
Dahlia Churchman. She's got Johann's appeal against exclusion next week, so we're going to be working out what we're going to be saying to the governors.
Oh, Jim, I tell you what, I would hate to be in her position.
Why is that?
Well, she's got no more fighting her corner.
She's got me.
She's a single mother with a hyperactive son and a deliberately incontinent father. No wonder that poor boy has got behavioural problems. All Johann needs is a bit of love and attention. He's not a bully. I've never had anything so ridiculous in all my life. What was that for?
I reckon Dahlia should just shelve my advice. Forget about the appeal. Just get you to go down there and tell those up-their-own-bums governors what's what.
The only problem is I might not be able to shut my mouth once I started. Oh, I'd have something to say about that poisonous old goat of a grandfather and all.
Georgina.
Honestly, Ronnie, not all white-haired old grandfathers are poorly poppies sat there in their wingset pyjamas handing out butter cookies. Some of them were nasty teenagers, worse adults, and are now poisonous old geriatrics.
You get off the fence and say what you really mean.
If it was up to me, I'd put Theo Churchman in a home.
I tell you what, Adolf, why don't I drop you into work today? Let's reduce our carbon footprint.
You were going on the bike. Well, that would be very nice, thank you.
And I can't think of a single point of criticism that Joe made. Good morning, Vivian.
And I would have thought imagining you can run before you can walk isn't a terrifically bright idea.
You just give me a minute. I've got some paracetamol and stuff from the thing.
Good morning.
Heavy night?
Heavy day.
Yeah? So what great legal challenges are you squaring up to today, then?
Trying to get a young boy back into his local school in September.
Well, he's been excluded.
He's a bit of a handful, but he's a good lad. What he doesn't need is instability.
Oh, is that really your thing, then? I mean, aren't school appeals just little, well, not Crown Court?
Well, the only other person whose mother has is her father, and he's in the later stages of MND.
Oh, that's right. Palliative care at home.
Top of the morning to you, Mrs. Maguire.
You do realise that I don't have any Irish ancestry, don't you, Joe?
Well, I wasn't thinking about anybody's ancestry at all, actually.
My genealogy is rooted in Suffolk and Dorset, actually.
Yeah, it looks really nice like that.
Thank you.
Ready for another day at the coalface, Dr. Fenton?
I've tried to keep it as light as possible. That way the schedule shouldn't be too overtaxing. And the necessity for slowness, which is understandably unavoidable, shouldn't have too great an impact on the practice.
Well, listen, mate, I hope you get things sorted for that kid and his mum.
Me too. Thank you.
Don't you wish we could have seen eye to eye more often, Daddy? I never once set out to disappoint you, you know. Just kind of had a knack of doing it. But I promise you, Daddy, I won't let you down today. Today, I'm going to make sure everything goes as smoothly as possible. It'll be all right. I promise.
All right, then. We'll see you again.
Thanks.
Next week? You're supposed to be here next week.
I don't think so. The appeal's on the 23rd.
Right. So, but you can come back tomorrow, right? It's just I wasn't expecting you today.
Oh, come on, Dahlia. I don't care if the place is a mess. Let's get the kettle on and get that boy sorted. So, are we comfortable raising the issue of Theo? I know it opens up your life for them to peer into, but there are precedents, you know. Other cases where having such an ill grandparent at home has caused temporary behavioural problems.
Listen, Ronnie, can we do this next week?
No, we really can't. Look, we'll just have this coffee and then I'll go up and say hello to your dad and then we can run through it.
This really isn't a good day for me.
Vivian said you weren't with anyone. I just needed to borrow. What's the matter with you?
Nothing. I was just feeling a bit queasy.
What? In what way, queasy?
No, I'm fine though. Just ignore me. It's nothing.
Well, then why were you listening to your chest?
I'm just being a bit silly. It's not even a palpitation, really.
Yeah, well, I think you're going to be needing a second opinion on that, Doctor. Well.
Daddy, all right?
Yeah, a little tired, I think.
It's a bit early, I know, and what with the medication and all. It's a single malt from Tobermory, Daddy. The 32-year-old.
Let me help.
Johan, what have I told you?
I didn't mean it.
I know, I'm sorry. Come with me. Ronnie, would you mind?
Sure.
Do you want to see a representative about changing our bottled water supply?
No.
Good, because I've already told him to pop off. Very insistent, too much aftershave. Give me your recycling, I'll put it through the big shredder.
Oh, it's just some junk mail that's been addressed to Mrs. Kate Maguire. Do you know, she's never even lived in my house. I mean, how come her mail comes to my house?
That's data for you.
So fed up with being confused with her.
Well, change your name. You did before.
Trust me, that does not make things easier. Anyway, it is not that simple. I mean, there's the practice stationery. That would have to be changed.
You could have it redesigned.
And then there's the signage and my name on the door and my desk name thingy.
This would stop you reverting to your maiden name.
They are quite expensive, you know. You know, this is not some kind of snap your fingers, flick through a stationery catalogue kind of decision, Vivian.
He's sleeping. Can we, just a quick chat in the garden?
Finish that picture, Johan. Peter's mummy will be here soon. I'm just going to be in the garden with Ronnie.
Look, it's encouraging that the ECG looks fine, but we both know that you could still have an irregular heart rhythm which wouldn't necessarily show up.
Yeah, but that's a vague possibility.
Angina?
I've had no tightness or heaviness in my chest. It's not angina, Jimmy.
I want to take some blood.
What? Full blood count, thyroid function, glucose?
Expect me not to.
No. Test away. Thank you, Doctor.
I haven't forgotten that your heart stopped once.
Yeah, when Bracken was born.
The chances are you're right and it really is nothing.
It's probably just a attack of vagabus.
Well, if it is, I'll buy a bottle of smelling salts.
Just don't send him to Ronnie, yeah? Not today. He's stressed and in denial as it is.
About what?
Oh, just someone who's repellent.
What do you think I'm going to do? Doctor-patient here? I think I'm going to call him the minute send the bloods off.
You never mentioned your father was a racist.
What?
Theo wrote that Johan is vile, black and vile.
He doesn't mean it.
He does. And you know he does.
I've protected Johan from...
What? From hatred and bigotry? You haven't. I'm not here today because Johan is a happy, well-adjusted boy, am I?
Fine.
And you didn't mention that you and your father are going to Switzerland today, nor that he's not coming back. I was looking for more tissues.
It's what Daddy wants.
This is all... It's too well-oiled, Dahlia.
You think this has been easy for me?
You should have told me.
How could I? I knew you couldn't get involved. I knew you couldn't help me, not even advise me. Once it was done and over, I was going to...
The question is, are you doing this to give Theo peace, or because you want him out of the way, because of what he stands for?
No!
Your son sickens him, and you're just assisting his suicide.
He's an old, sick man. Having a mixed-race grandson has been difficult for him.
Do you know what's in his will?
What?
Well, that's what other people are going to want to know, isn't it? People who don't give a toss about you.
I want you to go.
You've known the whole time what's really wrong with Johan.
This doesn't touch Johan. This has nothing to do with today.
That's not possible.
Listen to me, Ronnie. I love my father despite everything. I'm ashamed I've excused his bigotry.
Well, Johan's the one who's paying for it.
Don't you think I want him to love Johan? Don't you think I've prayed for more time, enough time for him to love my son?
Tell me why you're helping Theo.
Because the only thing he wants now is peace. And despite what you suddenly seem to believe, I'm doing this because I love my father. And not because he hates Johan, and not because I'm some money-grabbing, calculating... How could you even think that?
Today. When?
1 o'clock. What are you going to do?
I don't know.
Please, Ronnie, please, don't. Ronnie, please.
I can't be here.
Right, that's me done. Mr. Keynes and his unfortunate inflammation will wait for no man. So, one more time, what's your doctor told you to do?
Take it easy, stop worrying about stuff, and slow down. Generally, stop being a dizzy freak out.
Well, I don't think he used those words exactly, but we'll get to the bottom of this. And, whilst at the same time maintaining our jointly held conviction that there's probably going to be absolutely nothing worth worrying about.
I don't want you to panic, Dr. Woodson.
Why, what's happened?
The nursery just called. Bracken's had a little tumble. She's bumped her head. Everything's all right.
I haven't got the car.
She just wants to see her mummy. And I've ordered you a taxi.
You haven't got any money?
This is money from petty cash to cover the fare.
Right, I've got to go, sorry.
And you mustn't worry. It's only a little bump. She'll worry.
Yeah, don't I know it.
Oh, Mr. Keynes is in reception. He's early.
Well, how long's he been sitting there?
He hasn't been sitting there at all.
Oh.
I know. I know it's a big favour. I just want to check something. Come on, Ted. Thanks. Thank you. Yes, I'll come straight over. Bye.
Ronnie Woodson has gone. We're really going to do this, aren't we? The only time you've ever asked me for help. It's such a mess. I wish you'd enjoyed the garden more. How can you not love a garden? It's so beautiful in August. Lush and fertile. Those flowers are from the back border. When I was cutting them, I was thinking, I can't believe this time has come. Feeble. I swear to you, Daddy, I won't be.
See you next week. See you. You all right?
Is George in?
She went home, Mr. Woodson.
Yeah, don't freak out, Ronnie, but Bracken's had a little bump in nursery. She's okay.
Well, George hasn't got a car. How do you know Bracken's okay?
We sent her off in a taxi. She called a little while ago. Everything's fine.
Is your head still aching?
No, I'm fine. Why didn't you call me?
Well, she knew you had your plate full today.
It's a bump the size of a quail's egg, apparently. She's nothing to worry about. They're going to the park later.
Right then, so if you've not got a headache, are you in the market for some caffeine? Because I was just going to grab a coffee. You got time?
You know what? That'd be really good.
Nightmare of a day.
Tell me about it.
So, where are the Woodsons going on holiday? Anywhere nice this summer? George, due a break, I reckon.
Can't believe the cock-up Riley Lynch have made. Can't get my head around it. Utter cretins. I meant to be going to look at this will that they're supposed to be holding, and it isn't there.
I thought you were sorting out schools and exclusions, not last will and testament.
Jimmy, as a doctor,
There's a total incompatibility between assisting voluntary death and your professional ethics, isn't there?
Well, what are we talking about?
Thanks. Assisting suicide. I'm not judging here, but if there's any chance of coercion, and I don't see how anybody can ever be 100% certain that there isn't coercion, then there's always going to be doubt, isn't there? That's why the law is as it is. That's why the law is right.
Are we talking hypothetically? We're talking about the old man you mentioned this morning. He can't get involved. You can't touch assisted suicide with a barge pole. Oh, man, I'm sorry. What an awful business to be stuck in the middle of.
It's beyond awful.
What's George think?
George?
Oh, she must have been worrying about it. Must have been preying on her mind.
I haven't talked to George about it. I only found out about it this morning. That's why I needed to talk to her. Why the concern for George? What's wrong with her?
Nothing.
Jimmy?
No, I just... Well, she might strike me as being a little pale, that's all.
Pale?
That's why I was asking about the holiday. Just thought maybe she could do with a bit of sun. George is fine.
Okay, well... Good. Okay, well, that's okay then. I've got to stop it. I can't let it happen.
You can't do it.
You're too late.
What? They can't do it here.
He's alive. The medics are in the kitchen eating sandwiches.
What? What does it say?
Not going.
It's okay.
He's right. I am feeble.
No, you are one of the strongest people I've ever met. I'm sorry about before.
I have to go and see to those men. I can't face my father right now. Go and see him if you want to.
And well, if you think that Nick's putting himself under too much pressure, you're the one best placed to make him think about it, make him stop.
Those therapists will be used to dealing with blokes like him.
We both know that he'll be just doing what he wants.
Who will?
I thought you were going to the park. What are you doing here?
Oh, Bracken's just opened Julia's whole bunch. Who's overdoing what?
I was just telling Jimmy about Nick.
What about Nick?
He's got himself onto the most arduous and ambitious rehab program possible. He'll be playing wheelchair basketball by the end of the week.
This is just a social visit, though, right?
Yeah, kind of. What are you going to do about it?
Well, nothing yet, but we want to keep watching him. I mean, it's good that he's so positive, but you know what he's like. Positive mustn't tip over into overdoing it or jeopardising his recovery.
George. Park.
Yes, I was just collecting a few things I wanted to read tonight, and now I've got to go and find a dustbuster because there are 4,000 tiny circles of paper all over Julia's carpet.
You sure? All because you don't like black people. You were just tormenting her, testing her. What the hell is wrong with you? This is all just about how much you despise her. Because Johan's father is black. You're going to leave her with absolutely nothing after everything she's done for you. She was only trying to do what she thought you wanted. So the worst thing is, you know she'll stay. She'll keep looking after you and trying to keep you from damaging her son. You really are sick. And I'm not talking about because you're dying. She should leave you to rot. Dahlia! Okay. Help him.
I'm off early, I did say. Julia. What are you holding on to?
I don't know. Something I should probably let go of.
It's just a name.
You had no idea how much I wanted to be Mrs. Julia Maguire. I remember signing my first cheque, changing my name on my library card. I was just so full of the future, I suppose.
I know.
You know, I gave up my name for his because I thought that that showed my commitment. I thought that that showed the world how much I loved him.
It wasn't your fault.
You know, maybe if I had just done things, if I just...
No, stop right there. There is not one iota of blame attaching itself to you over either of those Mac debarques.
Yeah, well, changing my name, that's the final thing, isn't it? Do that, and I have to admit that I failed again.
I've not failed. And don't you want to be Julia Parsons again?
Johan, your grandfather died this afternoon.
Where is he?
He's in a special place where people go before there's a funeral.
Can we have pizza?
We'll see. Now go and unpack your bag. Thanks, Ronnie.
No problem. Anything else you need?
Nobody can give me what I've always needed. A father. Here. This is his glory, Ronnie. His piece de resistance.
I'm sorry.
It all makes Johan's bullying seem like a walk in the park, doesn't it? Not much point in fighting for him to stay at the school if we're going to be homeless. Cheers, Daddy.
This is the only copy of Theo's will.
Speaks volumes, doesn't it? And there's me thinking it was going to be easier when he was dead.
Dahlia. The only copy.
Mum, will you miss Grandad?
Will you?
He didn't like me.
It was him being stupid. He was a mean old man. What's not to like about you? He didn't like me either.
I'm glad he's gone.
Me too. I'm glad I don't have to pretend to like him anymore.
you want to get in?
No, not tonight.
Is she asleep?
Spark out. Lump's gone down.
Is she going to be purple and yellow for a bit?
I think we can look forward to receiving looks of concern and approbation for about the next week and a half. Listen, Ronnie, you were right going back today to try and stop Dahlia. Who'd have guessed?
Oh, indeed.
Anyway, I'm glad Theo Churchman's dead. I don't care who knows it. He was a hideous man.
Natural causes, that was grim enough.
I know.
He had no intention of going to Switzerland, you know.
You sure about that?
Yeah, I'm positive. He was just being a hideous man.
Anyway, whatever. You could never have had anything to do with it anyway. I know you, Ronnie Woodson. You didn't get your Boy Scout I always do the right thing badge for nothing.
Jimmy thinks you need a holiday.
Me? Why would I need a holiday?
He thinks you're pale and stressed out.
Me? If there's anyone around who needs a holiday, it's you.
Leave dinner to me. Take it easy today.
You need your hands free for me.
I can't go, Reg.
I answered the phone.
A relationship problem?
More medical.
I'm talking to you.
He's a good man.
Marking the anniversary of his death, The One Show has 30 singing Elvises, tonight at 7. Next on BBC1, it's All Saints.